For section 3.4, our goal is to be able to solve for missing angles and sides using trigonometry. So we're going to be solving for a full triangle. That means I want to find all of the angles and all of the sides. So I have angle A, angle B, and angle C. And if I'm looking for sides, sometimes they'll letter them and they'll put like, this is a little a, this is a little c, and this is a little b. I'm just gonna do that. This is a little b, and this is the little c. And they should have a right angle in the corner. Okay, because trigonometry is for right triangles. So side A, B, and C. What I know is angle A is 50 degrees. I know angle C is a right angle, so that will be 90 degrees. And I know that the side B, this little b, is 125. From there, my goal is to find the 3 missing pieces. So if I know that this triangle is a 50 and a 90, I can find angle B because I know triangles' angles add up to 180 degrees minus 50 minus 90 is 40 degrees. Okay, I'm gonna draw the triangle again. I know that this angle is 50 degrees. This is a 90. And I know that this side is 125. And I'm gonna look for either side A or C. And I'm only gonna label one of them because I don't wanna make it too confusing. So I'm gonna look for this little A that's right here. I'm gonna try and solve for it. Based off of this image, I have the opposite side, hypotenuse, and adjacent. The hypotenuse is missing, which means we are using TOA. Tangent of my angle 50 equals the O over the A. And if I'm going to solve this, I will multiply by 125, which will leave A by itself. 125 times tangent of 50. 148.969. I'm gonna go to 3 decimal places on this assignment. That was right here. 148.969. Okay, now I'm gonna try and solve for C. So I'm gonna draw my triangle. I know that this is 50 degrees, 125, and this is side C. I'm trying to find C. So I don't label anything else, I just label the 2 numbers I'm given, and then whatever I'm looking for. I'm just looking for the C now. So I have the opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. O is missing. That means we are using cosine of my angle equals side A. Oh, that's not side A. Side A is 125 over H. That means I'm going to times by that C, which will cancel out, and then divide by cosine of 50. So C equals 125 on top divided by the cosine of 50. I'm going to do 3 decimal places, so 4, 6, and the 5 will not round up. The 4 is not great enough to round the 5 up. 194.465. And I found all of the angles and all of the sides. All right, example 2. Angles. Angle A, B, C. Sides A, B, C. So across from the large A, that capital A, that's little a for the side. Across from the C is the little c for the side. And for across from the B is the little b for the side length. All right, and we are given the little b is a 30 for its length. Capital B in this corner is a 20, and C is 90 degrees. There is not a box on yours, so you need to draw one in. There should be a 90 degree whenever we're using trig. Okay, so I'm going to start with my angle first. I know that my angles are 90 and 20. So then if I'm finding, angle A, 180 minus 90 minus 20 is 70. So I'm going to put that 70 right here. That's my angle A. Alright, now I'm going to find a missing side. I have my 90 degree in the corner. I have the 20 right here, and I have the 30 on that side, so I need my numbers that they've given me, those two numbers drawn in, and then I pick a letter to solve for. So like if I want to solve for A, I'm gonna put the A right there and then try and solve for it based off of this picture so I'm not overwhelmed by too many letters. So this is the opposite side, hypotenuse, and the adjacent. Hypotenuse is missing. That means we were using TOA. Tangent of my angle 20 equals the O over the A. We times by A, which gets the fraction to go away. And then A needs to be by itself, so I'm going to divide by tangent of 20. So we get A equals 30 is on top, divided by tangent of 20. 82.424 is going to stay a 4. The 3 is not large enough to round it up. I label my 90, I have a 20 in here, a 30 for the side, and I'm looking for C. I label O, A H, A. A is missing. That means we're using so. Sine of my angle 20 equals the O side over the H side. I want to get rid of the fraction. Gone. And then I want C by itself. So we divide by the trig function. C equals 30 divided by sine 20. 87.714. The 4 will not round up. And we have solved for all of the angles and all of the sides. Example 3. Alrighty. Angles. Sides. Okay, I know the capital A is a 20. I know the angle C, it should have a 90 in there. And it looks like side B is an 8. That's a little a. Alright, so I have everything written down that I know. Now I'm going to try to find my missing pieces. 90, 20. So then B, I would do 180 minus 90 minus 20, 70 again. Okay. Draw my new triangle. I like drawing new triangles for each one. And then we have an 8 here. So I have my 20, my 8, and I'm gonna look for the letter A, which is right here. So I have the opposite side, hypotenuse, adjacent. H doesn't have a side. That's TOA. Tangent of my angle 20 equals the O over the A. Get rid of our fraction. And I can type that in. So that would be 8 times tangent of 20. 2.912. That 7 is going to bump that one up to a 2. We'll round it. $28.90, and I'm looking for C this time. O, H, A. O is missing. That means we are using cosine of the angle 20 equals the A over the H. Get rid of the fraction. I can't type this in because of my variable, so I'm going to divide by cosine of 20. 8 is on top, divide by cosine of 20. Oh, 20. 8.513. 3 will not round up. 8.513. Example 4. Looking for all of the angles. And sides. Okay, so across from the capital A, little a, across from capital B is a little b, and across from the capital C is a little c. and there should be a 90 in our corner because trig, we're using right triangles for the trig. All right, so I know that C is 90 degrees. I know that the little a is a 4 and the C is a 10. Alright, so if I know this is a 90, this is 4, this is 10, and I have a B right here, I'm going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 4 squared plus b squared equals 10 squared. 16 plus b squared equals 100. Subtract the 16. B squared equals 84. Then we square root the 84 to get rid of that power of 2. I'm going to write it as a decimal. B is equal to 9.165. Alright. I am going to draw my triangle. I know that there's a 4 here and a 10 here. And this time I'm going to look for a capital letter. I'm going to look for capital A. Capital A is in this corner. So that would be the opposite. Hypotenuse adjacent is missing. That means we are using so. Sine of my angle A equals the O over the H. That looks really weird. That looks like a 0. There, that's the O side. That doesn't look like a 40. To solve for an angle, I use the inverse and plug in the fraction 4 over 10. Second, sine 4 over 10. Which gives us, I want a whole number. 0.5 is going to round this up to 24 degrees. Okay. I'm going to draw my triangle again. 4 and 10, and this time I'm going to look for the capital B in this corner. So that means this is the opposite. Hypotenuse adjacent, O is missing. Cosine of my angle equals the A over the H. And then to find the angle, I use the inverse and plug my fraction in. Second cosine 4 over 10 is 66 degrees. The 0.4 is not going to round it up, so 66 degrees. And if you notice, they add up to equal 180. And that is how you solve for a full triangle. You find all of the missing angles and all of the missing sides.